Let's talk a little bit about implementation now, because you really painted a great picture ahead of those in retail or maybe close connected industries as well. But what are the essential considerations or best practices for retailers adapting AI? That sometimes goes, not as well as they probably thought in their plans and strategies.
Yeah, I think one of those, and as we kind of speak with a lot of retailers, is that before you kind of jump on the AI bandwagon, the first thing is to get your data stack in place, because most of your generative AI models today are foundational models which are trained on open data sets, but a large part of your business intelligence relies on your closed data sets, which is that what is it about? What do your customers like? What are your product attributes? And so it's your data that you kind of need to have a handle on before you can really leverage the AI systems fully, and then be able to train and fine tune the foundational models to really create these applied models that can really work for you and your category itself. So before any of the retailers really jump on the AI bandwagon, I think the first thing that they need to kind of take a good look at is that how clean is my data? How well organized is my data stack? That's number one. The second step, I would say, is that as you kind of bring on AI on board, you have got to also understand is that there's the propensity for the models to hallucinate. You've got to ensure that you ground the models by training them and fine-tuning them with the right data sets, have the right guardrails to be able to check the output, so that your customers are really not getting that customer experience which is off-brand. So the ability for you to kind of look at the grounding the models itself, being able to check the outputs of the model through different kind of passes is super important as you kind of bring AI on board. And the final part of it is also ensuring that you have the ability for you to create the feedback systems to kind of improve the models. So I think these are three important areas that we see: data governance, grounding models, feedback loops to train and fine-tune the continue improving the models are super important as you go about driving AI adoption within your enterprise. And of course, to do all of this, you need partners, you need people who understand them, and you need to kind of have a good relationship and rapport to work with them, because that's super important. Today, in the hype of AI, there's also a lot of different things that are being promised. You've also got to prioritize what really makes sense for your business. Is the extra expenditure on AI and marketing going to make sense? Is it on the supply chain that I need to invest in? Is it basically my product assortment, or is it my product development? Which is the needle mover for my business? So I think that's the prioritization bit that I would advise for most brands and retailers. And I think that's probably the way to keep in mind as you kind of having a good AI portfolio and a good AI mix adoption within your organization.
Yep, you mentioned a few use cases before. So what about if we spell out somehow the low-hanging fruit? Okay, I know companies already looking at. They haven't looked yet. I mean, they're really behind. But can we please summarize based on your experiences? Yeah, what kind of low-hanging fruit use cases and how to really achieve them?
Yeah, so I think on the consumer experience side, again, like I said, there's a bunch of these use cases emerging across the table. On the engagement side, I'll speak about this gamification, there's quizzes, there's rewards, which are all coming into the front. So these are some of those use cases which are coming on the engagement side. I think that's usually a very low-hanging fruit that's kind of getting enabled. This is post-content creation itself. I think on the content creation, we are very well aware in terms of already product content really being created automatically with AI. But I think it's really about grounding those models and ensuring that they are on brand. That's the important bit to keep in mind as you kind of enable product content. Then we are definitely seeing better merchandising being enabled. And I think while merchandising has been around for a while right now, really today what is really being unlocked with this language models is also the ability to understand products using by understanding the product attributes and by understanding the product descriptions. And so we are able to have better vector-based search, which really allows for better recommendations. So I think we're seeing also an emergence in terms of how merchandising and search experience is evolving over there. And then finally on sales and promotions, where there's more personalization really coming into the picture. So I think we're definitely seeing an emergence of that. These are at least things on the consumer experience side. On the retail experience side, I think on the storefront experience, it's also enabling sales associates with better customer intelligence. And I think those are some of the low-hanging fruits that I would say that brands need to double tap on, and retailers need to kind of double tap on before they start indexing on more sophisticated initiatives around how do I kind of use AI to kind of drive in product development or to improve supply chain efficiencies. So yeah, so these would be some of those low-hanging fruits that I would say that really stand out for me.